Hey, good morning. I'm going through the book of Daniel right now. It's a project I've been working on for a few months and preparing it for a presentation or performance, if you will, like I do some of the other books of the Bible, the Gospel of Mark, Ephesians, and Jonah to date. I thought I'd just kind of give you a little bit of a look under the hood, as it were, in my preparation and how I go about doing some of this memory work, but more importantly to that is I guess the exegetical work, because it's to the best of your ability. I think you need to try to understand what it is that you're saying when you're making these proclamations or the performances of the text. You want to know what the motivation and the meaning is behind all that you're saying, and so this is a little bit of what I do here. One of the things that you notice as you go through a spoken word experience like this is that you pick up on things that you normally wouldn't pick up on by virtue of the fact that you are speaking the words out loud and you're taking longer passages into consideration. You're getting to see some of the overall shape of the text, where it's going, where it's come from. You also begin to pick up some of the rhythms, the cadence, and the punctuation becomes much more important. And these things tell you something about the overall tone and feel that the writer has as he's trying to express this. And one thing that's just kind of leaping off the page to me this morning as I'm going through chapter 3 in the book of Daniel is there is a kind of bite. There is a kind of irony and this visceral reaction that's being expressed through the use of lists. The writer gives us a number of lists in this chapter and elsewhere in the book, and when he uses lists here, he's really expressing a kind of overall disdain for what he's speaking of. At least that's the way I'm beginning to read it, and I'm playing with that idea because it does seem to be quite pronounced, his use of lists here. I'll give you an example here in chapter 3. It says, King Nebuchadnezzar made a gold statue 90 feet tall and 9 feet wide and set it up on the plain of Dura in the province of Babylon. Then he sent messages to high officers, officials, governors, advisors, treasurers, judges, magistrates, and all provincial officials to come to the dedication of the statue he had set up. So all these officials came and stood before the statue King Nebuchadnezzar had made. And then later, the next verse he goes into, the herald shouted, people of all races, nations, languages, listen to the king's command. When you hear the sound of, again, here comes another list here. When you hear the sound of the horn, flute, zither, lyre, harp, pipes, and other musical instruments, bow to the ground and worship King Nebuchadnezzar's gold statue. Anyone who refuses to obey will immediately be thrown into a burning furnace, into a blazing furnace. And so it says the sound of the musical instruments blew, and it goes on to the list again. Just a very interesting thing that you pick up in the spoken experience of the text, as opposed to just reading the text in isolation to yourself. By reading it out loud, by picking up on the cadences of things, when you read a list out loud in this context, it really does pick up a flavor of bitterness to it. Right? He's not relishing these lists. These are not good things. These are things that are to be viewed with suspicion, with a kind of an ironic eye. But these things really come clear when you hear it out loud, when you see it performed and presented. So that's it. Just this morning going through some of my memory work, and noticing how the spoken word affects your understanding, once again, even with things like lists. So there you go, a little peek under the hood on this process. Thanks.